kicking off today, I'd really like for us to start thinking consciously about how we're going to attract those dream clients of yours, how we're going to not just reach into their life and create something that relates with them, you know, from a brand leadership point of view, from a thought leadership point of view, because each and every one of you are thought leaders and brand leaders. But it's about connecting with them and engaging them when they get there, and really tapping into the right emotions, right? So we're talking about tapping into wealth as a topic right now, as one of the I suppose an extra long sprint that we're doing, but at the same time what we want to do is be tapping into their emotions as well. And as we go through the tapping into wealth process, it's being able to look at, okay, if we're tapping into wealth, but from a different perspective and from a non-physical perspective, we need to tap into your dream client's emotions. And if you think about all of the limiting beliefs, all of the unconscious stuff that's running for you, it's also running for them. So they might also want success in the area that you provide success, in the area that you deliver success. But what if they want all of that success and they've got a lot of unconscious limiting beliefs that are lurking under the surface of their psychology as well? Because everybody does. None of us get away with that. That's I would say, fortunately, part of the human experience. That's part of growth, isn't it? But if all we're doing is focusing on connecting on our features and the benefits of what we provide, and we're missing out that emotional piece within the brand mix, then you're going to be telling people what you do, and you will get people attracted to that. But as soon as you start really tapping into and tuning into those emotions that they're feeling, the ones that you felt when you were at the same stage that they are at, then you're going to start creating a real connection to your brand. Now, some of you over the last few sessions of our 365 days of impact sessions, you will already have experienced the reward from the posts that you were putting out last week, for example. So over the last week, some of you have been using the thought leadership challenges, I guess, that I've given you over the last 5 sessions, I think, where we looked at creating memes, and we looked at using quotes, and we looked at using your face in the posts that you're putting out. Well, that's already emotional. That's already creating an emotion, and your face in those images is going to attract or repel the people that are that you're wanting to attract or repel. Now, that's not to say your face as a whole is, but the expressions on your face, the emotions that you're feeling in the images that you're choosing. So be very conscious about that, and you know, pick images of yourself that demonstrate the emotion that you want the person on the other end to feel. So don't just pick photos that you like, pick photos of you, or take photos of yourself that reflect the feeling and the emotion that you want them to have when they see it. Because if they can't read, for example, or that, I mean, it would be highly unlikely if they're on Facebook and they can't, but that doesn't mean that they don't have a challenge where it comes to reading, or maybe dyslexia, or there might be something else that's running for them. Or if you use white out text, if you make your text white over the top of an image without putting a block of color over it so that the white really stands out, there's a lot of people that have a big problem with that. So the only thing really, therefore, that you're going to capture them with is the image, isn't it? And they say, quite rightly, an image speaks 1,000 words. So do be very mindful of that as a conscious thought leader, as a conscious brand leader. Really connect into the emotions that you're feeling in the images that you're sharing, so that you are effectively mirroring and then anchoring that thought or that message or that feeling into whatever it is, the message that you want to carry through to them that day. And when you think about it, emotion is the number one decision maker, whether we like it or not. It's the key driver where it comes to making a purchase decision. There can be all the features in the world, there can be all the benefits in the world, you can have the best story in the world, but ultimately, and think about when you've bought something, does it feel right? You know, does this feel right to me to make that decision? I'm probably going to ask some other people, how did you get on with this person? Or can you recommend somebody? Oh yeah, they did this. Oh man, it was great. I felt amazing. You know, like, so think about when you've made those buying decisions that you've made in your life. The key decision maker, even though you probably went, you know, did your research. Greg, my husband, he's like that. If he decides that he wants to buy something, he will do hours of research on it. He'll look at all the reviews on it. He'll totally make his research and everything. And then what he'll do, he gets that from his dad. His dad was a big researcher, so he just does that. But then his ultimate decision maker will be how it makes him feel. And many people are the same. For me, I don't do the research. Like, if it feels right, then I'll just do it. I don't waste my time on any of the research stuff. I might look at some reviews, but then I'll just basically buy based on how I feel about that decision. You know, does this feel right? No, it doesn't feel right quite yet, right? So there's a lot of people, like the whole population, that are basically making their decisions on emotions. So if you're solely focused on the like features and benefits of what it is you're selling, then you're not going to connect at a deeper level with those people that you really want to serve. You'll miss a huge percentage of the population that you could actually reach with your brand. So if your posts on social media are falling flat, we need to look at the emotion. If your offers aren't selling, then we need to look at emotion. If your sales calls aren't ending in a sale, then we need to look at emotion. There's an emotion that you're not tapping into. There's something that's missing, that's not giving them that decision making. Yeah, this feels right. You know, it might even be that the features and the benefits don't stack up, but it feels right, so they'll go for it, right? And then of course they'll get exactly what they need, because you wouldn't sell something to somebody that they didn't need. So emotion plays such a huge role in everything that you create. And the first thing we really need to identify is, what emotions do you want your brand to create? Because when I mean, that's one of the key things. If I ever create branding, I do a few brandings for people every year now, but I mean, that used to be my whole thing in the agency. But I don't do that. I do all my own branding stuff, but I don't do it for anyone else anymore. If something comes along and I think, I could be passionate about that, then I'll hop in and I'll get involved in it. But whenever I'm working on any brand, or even working with somebody who's getting the branding done somewhere else, and I'm overseeing that process to make sure it's right, that's one of the first things that I'll work on, is what is the emotion that I want my branding to create? Because your fonts, your colors, the shape of the logo, the shapes that you use within your brand, they're all emotional. And so if you're wanting to create a brand that really connects, because why wouldn't you? You want to create the branding for it that connects in a really strong way, then you want to make sure that the branding, the physical branding, the physical logo, the typefaces, all the things that you use are actually creating that effect. And of course, with something like social media, when you're posting on social media, you don't get a choice what fonts you use usually. You know, it'll be whatever Facebook or LinkedIn or Pinterest or Instagram, it's whatever fonts they use. But we can control that in the designed elements, like the quotes that you put out there, the graphics that you use to drive people to your brand. So I really want to tap into emotion and what you want your audience to feel in today's session. because that's going to be a key driver in, just as your vision is the driver and should be the driver, the vision and values of your business should be driving every decision that you make and anything that you do. The emotions should be driving anything that is customer facing. And to ask yourself, what emotion do I really want to create in in my audience today? What beliefs do I want them to consider? Like, how, you know, it's absolutely possible to change somebody's belief about something through storytelling and through the graphics you use and through facts. That, you know, there's lots of ways that you can, you know, case studies, sharing examples, testimonials. There's lots of ways that you can change someone's belief about you or about your industry or about whatever it is that you sell. There's lots of ways you can do that. But actually, you know, if you look at Bruce Lipton's biology of belief, that's what we're actually creating is through emotion. What you're doing is you're building that belief in you. You're creating that trust building currency, trust currency. You're really building that trust currency. So the key thing that we want to do is to start by working out, well, what emotions do I want my brand to be connected with? When somebody connects with my brand, or if somebody's talking about me to someone else, what emotions do I want them to convey? Or say somebody talks about you and then that person goes and immediately searches you and they find you. What do you want them to find? Like, what emotions do you want your brand to be responsible for stirring up in someone? And that being a consistent thing. So Anya, for example, fearless, freedom, courage. You know, you want every person that comes into connection with your brand, you want them to feel truly free. You want them to believe that it's possible, that they can be truly free. So what emotions do you need to create for somebody to feel free or to believe that they can feel free? What emotions do you need to stir up in them for them to start being curious about what it is you sell? You think about what you sell and then think about, well, what emotion would I want someone to have? What belief would I want them to have? What belief would they need to have to make a decision about this? And then you focus on that belief and sewing into that belief, tapping into that belief. So we're going to do a visualization now that that will help you to get clearer on that, so that you can make your content much more engaging, make your stories more trust currency building, and to enable you to tap into a part of your dream customers that they might not even know is there. They might not understand it. They, you know, they might not get it physically, but psychologically it's going to resonate. There'll be, what we want to do is we want to, through language, we can have somebody see themselves in our story. We can have somebody see themselves in the pictures that we post. We can have somebody see themselves through the language that we use and the photos that we post. But ultimately we need to really focus on what is the emotional asset of the brand. So when you're ready, get yourself into a nice comfortable position.